give us a rundown of what's proposed and kind of the why it's being proposed.
Probably like a minute length here, and we can dive into questions.
Yeah. Oh my God. Give me the impossible task here. How do I paraphrase the Cliff Notes version of ADU?
You're down to like 50, Bob.
So in order to, well, this goes right into the conversation we were just talking about trying to make affordable rent for people. All the tenants groups want affordable rent. Well, what's the best way in some of these high dense areas of the city? Now we're not talking about the whole city. We're probably talking about what, like Wicker Park, Lincoln Park, places like that. High rent, high density areas. How do you create affordable housing? Well, the building owner group said, give us these ADUs. So what does that mean? ADU would be like a fast tracking, being able to do, and I do a lot of work with legalizing basements, doing stuff like that. But for a lot of these older properties, especially when you're dealing like Lincoln Park, those areas, a lot of these buildings, a lot of these single family homes have these old coach houses. They still have the original barns and they have all those properties. And they said, well, why don't you just let us turn those into dwelling units? That's what they used to do, back in the 40s and 50s. They would turn those into, little apartments. Some people call them granny flats. Some people call them Fonzie flats. If you watched, Happy Days, Fonzie lived in the apartment above the garage. I said, just let's do that again. Why can't we go back to that? And for the longest time, the city of Chicago fought that. They didn't want those little units. People thought that they weren't habitable. They thought they weren't safe. They thought it wasn't sanitary. Now, things are a lot different now than they were 50 years ago. Were they unsanitary then? Probably, yeah. I'm sure some of them were really gross. But now with the way things are, with the way the building code regulations are, they're willing to say, look, if you do it the right way, if you follow the building code regulations, if you make them, safe, we're willing to let you guys start developing these things. So we're looking at the potential of, for the first time in our lifetimes, being able to develop those little exterior structures, being able to have these little apartments in the rear of the property that will, assumably be more affordable rent for a lot of people, for a lot of young people, single people, maybe people who just can't afford a lot. They'll be able to afford those little units. So it's an exciting opportunity both for developers, because now it gives them, they could do these single family homes. And, if you're the person who buys a single family home, now you can have a potential income property on the rear of it, which is a nice offset. So you're buying this multi-million-dollar house, and oh, by the way, there's going to be rent from this little coach house in the back, or just for rental property, being able to maximize the rental income for the property, being able to put this little exterior property out there. Yep. So it's exciting. It's an exciting opportunity.